Welcome. In this video I will introduce my past. In my view, I think that my past was really crucial for forming my reality. So I think it is highly important that I will talk about a bit of my past, and I will talk about mainly those issues that I think that influenced the most to my behavior and my mind state. And so I'm going to talk about mainly negative happenings that I have been across with in my past, because I have had quite many problems, as we all have in our lives, and I will explain how those influenced to my behavior. And this can be a bit of emotional for me, and I need to kind of get myself together and think also. That's why I'm going to have a breaks, and when I'm having a break, you can have a break too. This is really easy way to practice your focusing. So it's really good focusing practice also. So when I'm having an emotional break, you can have a break too by just breathing through your nose. So breathe in and breathe out through your mouth. And when you breathe in, notice the air going in, and notice when it goes to your chest area, and you're rising your chest. And if you have a deeper breath, you will notice you're even rising your belly. And when you breathe out, you notice the air going out, and your belly or chest going backward. So you circulate your breath and be aware of your breath. That is really easy way to focus yourself. So let's begin. I was born with a disability. I have a kind of a spine tumor I had in my back when I was born. It was removed in a surgery just after when I was born, and it affected in a way that usually it's kind of a tumor in the spine, and it depends where it is. It depends what does it do to your body. In my case, it was quite in lower back, so I was kind of lucky because it's paralyzed only my bladder. If it would have been higher, I could have been paralyzed like the below the waistline. So I have this disability that it made me quite a some problems in my past. Mainly the biggest problems were urinating problems when I was a kid. I needed to use a diaper because of my disability, and you can imagine that was my state when I was in elementary school. So you can imagine being a 7-year-old boy with a diaper, so it was quite emotionally difficult, and it was because I was bullied a lot, so it took all of my self-esteem, and I felt so ashamed of myself, and so after the elementary school, I think most of my self-esteem was gone, and then I started the secondary school. In the secondary school, I was bullied even more. There was mental and physical violence all the time. 3 years mainly, and I think in the secondary school it wasn't about my disability anymore, because I had a surgery when I was about 10 years old, and then after the surgery I didn't need to use a diaper anymore, so I'm using a catheter to urinating, so it helped the problem. It didn't solve the problems, it can't be solved, but it helped in a problem in a way that I can be quite normal, live a quite normal life. But I think in secondary school I was bullied because I was so emotionally sensitive, and I have had this emotional sensitivity all of my life. I think I have, because when I was like about 5 years old, I was a couple of days in a kindergarten, and I was terrified. I must have been terrified. I don't know. I don't remember that, but I was told that I cried a couple of days, and I was shifted to. My mother took me to church school. So after that, I was in a church school, and that was really nice place for me. And then in elementary school in first grade, I was told that the whole first grade I was standing in the same place in all the breaks. So outside when we have a break, I was standing in the same place because I think I was terrified over there also. So I have been really shy and emotionally sensitive, and that was the main thing why I was bullied in secondary school. It was kind of a fun game of those bullies to try to get me cry or to get me angry, and then it affected me in a way that I kind of learned to hide my emotions in a way that I don't cry anymore. and so I hide my emotional sensitivity because I think I thought it is not, it's not normal, and I noticed that all the people that were normal, they didn't they didn't bully those who were normal. So I did everything. After that, I did everything to be normal. So my reality was to be normal. And the bullying affected me in a way that I was even more ashamed of myself, and I felt so helpless because I couldn't do anything when they were bullying me. And the helplessness and shame has been the biggest thing of my life, all of my life. I couldn't cope with those at all. So after secondary school, I went to high school. In high school, everyone was really nice, and but I think I had already started to get depressed. I think I blamed myself because of what happened to me in the secondary school. So I blamed myself that I let them to bully me. And also I felt like I wasn't social because everyone was so nice, but I couldn't be social. It wasn't like I'm not like that. So that's why how to be social is to get drunk. And that was it's really common in our country to get drunk. So I was partying a lot and drank alcohol a lot, and I was kind of a party monkey in the early evening, and then the alcohol brings your emotions. So after that I was feeling really emotional, and I was talking my guts out to anyone who would listen. And after that, I think my depression got even worse and worse. And then they started to that kind of life period that everyone was having a girlfriend, and I didn't have one, and I wanted to be normal, so I did everything to have a girlfriend. So, but it was really difficult for me because I was so shy, and so I got even more and more depressed. And I felt sometimes that I can't live my life anymore. But I think in that moment I kind of made a deal. I remember that time that I felt like I was so tired of living, but I couldn't end my life because I couldn't do that to my loved ones. So I decided that I will live my life for others. So that was my new me, live my life for others. but no one can do that. It's really hard to set your mind in that kind of state. It's like you're pretending. I think I have been a pretender all of my adulthood, and so I was kind of actor. And but then I got in relationships, and all of those relationships was kind of two desperate persons going together, so it wasn't very happy relationships. We had a lot of arguing and a lot of fights, and in a couple of the relationships my partner was violent to me. So I think I was in a kind of a victim mode already, and so I experienced more violence. And in my longest relationship, it lasted 6 years. In that relationship, my partner had also mental problems, and I did everything that to get her well, because I think after the bullying I have tried to prove myself that my life has some kind of a meaning, and in that relationship I find a meaning. The meaning was to get her well and save our family, because that was my family at the moment. And so I did everything to try to get her well, but I couldn't. I wasn't helping at all. Also, I wasn't present at all, and I was having panic attacks all the time, and I drank alcohol quite often and partied sometimes, and then we argued even more, and it was a really difficult time. And but in that time I got a grip of my life. I graduated from my technical university that I was studying, and then I got a job. So I think it affected me in a way that I got a grip of my life. I think it kind of forced me to take control of my life. But I noticed that I couldn't help her. I was making her mind state even worse. So, and our fights was getting even worse, and it was getting dangerous for me also. So I ended the relationship, and it was devastating for me, because that was my life, and it was really hard to say to myself that I failed. I couldn't help her. And it was really difficult for me to say that I couldn't help her. I was the one who get grip of my life, and I couldn't help her. I let her down. So after that, I was furious. I was so much anger in me. I could have done anything. But luckily, somehow I kind of get my anger and hatred and everything, I put it to political influencing, so I got and life and world saving. I did everything it was my new goal, to save the world and influence in our society in a way that no one will have to cope with the same problems that I had and my partner had. So everyone who wants help in our society will get help, because I noticed that I couldn't get help in our society. So I was furious to my society. And then I start doing my life. I think I put all my anger in doing. I was working a lot and doing this political influencing and any kind of a world saving, you name it. Everything I just tried to find a meaning, but I couldn't. I thought I find a meaning in my work, but I didn't. It was just my imagination. And then I got health problems also. I was so stressed, and I was having panic attacks all the time. And then it affected me in a way that I got this IBS, irritating bowel syndrome. It's a digestive problem, and it was really getting my life really difficult. And then, but somehow in that I wasn't depressed anymore. I think my depression, I healed from depression when I was in that long relationship. I think I don't know why, but somehow that affected me in a way that I think I didn't have time to be depressed anymore. So I kind of cured from depression in that relationship. I think it was because I felt like I had a meaning. And after that I had a meaning of doing. But then my project was ending where I was working, and then I noticed that it didn't have that kind of meaning that I thought it had. So, and at the same time I was in a relationship. It was my first normal relationship, and in that time I think it was really most important time of my life, to kind of before the awakening, because in that time I stopped drinking alcohol, so I get sober, and then I think I was studying my mind in that time also, but I did it unconsciously. There was a lot of kind of reminders of why I'm behaving in the way I am. For example, I noticed that I tried everything to please her, and I didn't have to, but I've been in every relationship the same kind of behavior, because I felt I was scared of ending and the being like broke up, because I was ashamed every time my relationship ended. I felt so ashamed after that. So I think the shame was the biggest thing why I was in a relationship. So like I thought it's compulsory for me being in a relationship. I can't end a relationship. The same is too much for me to handle. And so I did everything to keep that relationship going, even though we noticed that we are not we were not we were more of friends than the partners, and I couldn't be present at all. I was away, kind of in my mind. I was away all the time. So that relationship ended also, and like I said, in the same time my work project ended. So I think that kind of dropped all of my meaning. I didn't have a meaning in anything anymore. So I think that kind of led me in a really big burnout that I had after that. I was filled with negativity. I was filled with darkness in my mind, and I had the negativity had been collected to my mind quite a long time before that, but it just, I think it was kind of an emotional bottom that I hit, and that was so, it was, I can't even say how did it felt, because it was total darkness. But in that time, I made a decision again. I made a decision that I will heal my mind so that I can help others. So I started to heal my mind with different kind of techniques, and I did that for about half a year. Before that I have learned different kinds of mind techniques about 4 years, and so it wasn't that easy. But I will talk in a next video. I will talk about how did I heal my mind, and after that I'm going to talk about how I see that my mind works in a way that I will explain how this kind of these happenings affected to my mind, and how it affected to my reality. And if you want to study your own mind a bit, you can now notice what kind of emotions arised, or what kind of thoughts arised when you listen to my story. And when you notice those, it is easier for you to understand what I'm talking about when I'm talking about emotions and thoughts and physical sensations, and all of how I see that my mind works. So I made a theory of how I see that our mind works and how it affects our behavior. But hopefully we will see you in the next videos. So bye.